That's a gay-ass podcast.
What? That's a gay-ass podcast. What? A really, really, really gay podcast that we call That's a Gay-Ass Podcast.
That's a gay-ass name for a gay-ass podcast.
Welcome back to That's a Gay-Ass Podcast, the podcast that asks, whose fault is it that you're gay? It is me, Eric Williams, and this week, it's my girl Matt Rodin on the podcast, who is currently starring in BEAU, the musical Off-Broadway. You probably also know Matt from his amazing red carpet interviews. Maybe you saw him in the national tour of Company playing Jamie, or just for being a gorgeous, stunning gay Jewess. I don't know. But in this interview, you will enjoy a lot of gayassery. But for the extended horny questions, go to Substack, linked in the description. For now, though, here's Matt. Matt Rodin is on That's a Gay-Ass Podcast to celebrate BEAU the musical, the off-Broadway production you're starring in, but also to hit my hard-hitting gay-ass questions. Matt Rodin, question 1. In my research, I've seen some maybe inklings of your Judaism. Matt, are you a Jewess?
Can confirm. I am a Jewess. So much so that my mother was in bar bat mitzvah planner for like 15 years.
Stop. Wait,
I have attended more bar bat mitzvahs than most Jews attend in their lifetime.
Well, now we're going to have a competition. No, you probably already win. You're right. Because did you help your mom? Is that why you're gay?
Of course. Well, I do. I think we'll talk about that. But yes, I do. I was very helpful. But also, like, I worked, because my mom was a planner, I worked in every aspect of the mitzvah industry, right?
Sure.
Like, I've worked on the planning side, but I've also worked as a bar mitzvah dancer. Haven't done the MC thing, which is devastating. But like, literally everything else I have touched at some point.
Well, you would have been and still could be an incredible bar mitzvah DJ MC, but I say this with all due respect because I know you are also gay married, as am I, but if you were one of the dancers at a bar mitzvah and as an adult and I was a closeted 13-year-old, I would have been jorking my gork to you at all times.
I have some memories of some bar mitzvah dancers from the day that certainly were awakening for me, as it were.
Wait, so I only had like slutty girls who were dancing at the bar mitzvahs I went to. There were slutty boys doing bar mitzvah dancing? There were slutty
girls, and then it was like, it's very rare that you get like a white guy. Very rare. It was mostly like hunky black men that could break dance, because that was like the whole thing, was like the slutty girls that can't really dance. They can like step touch and clap their hands and roll. Or there were guys that could like break dance. And for like the young boys, that was like, whoa, this is so cool.
Sounds like the bar and bat mitzvahs that your mother was planning were Big Budge and Giving Broadway. But the question is begging to be asked, Matt Rodin, did your mother plan your own bar mitzvah?
Okay, so the story goes, oh my God, she's gonna be so happy I told the story, or not. So my bar mitzvah comes I'm born in 92, so it would have been like 2000 and what, like five or six or something like that. My bar mitzvah did not have a theme. It had a feeling.
I'm there. Give me the feeling, Matt. What was the feeling? So the feeling
was Club Matt, but it wasn't explicitly Club Matt. It was just like the vibe was club, right? Like the centerpieces were these like glowing buildings and yeah, it was just a vibe. So it went so well that my mom was like, I actually think maybe this is a thing. And that's like what kickstarted her career. I'm from the North Shore of Chicago. So yes, the budgets were large and in charge.
So you were your mom's villain origin story for The Party Was Such a Slay. She said, I need to do this for cachet.
Whether or not that's true, I don't care. I'm going to say that's true. I think that's true.
And I believe it, because you know what? The gift that your mom was given to have a gay son who wanted to have Club Matt just be a vibe, a feeling, and energy.
To be clear, that was not my idea. To be clear, it was my mother's, of course.
And a star was born. She said, I have a vision.
Yes, she said, I have a vision. This is what we're doing. And you know me, I'm like, as long as I can enter with a boa, I don't care.
Sound as a pound. Now, be honest, Matt Rodin, did you use vibrato during your Haftorah?
I feel like it would be criminal not to. Do you know what I mean? Like, the only thing I really remember about like the real Jewish part of my bar mitzvah was that my my teacher, maybe this is not weird, but I think this is so crazy. He had like a wireless mouse for his laptop that he would control with his foot.
No, that's
He put
weird.
the mouse under the table
No, that's weird.
and would like click the mouse with the foot, like hands free. I'm like, I don't know if that's like supposed to be cool or what, but that's
Please tell me he
only
was
thing-
wearing footwear.
No, definitely not. I think a sock, but definitely was Shoeless Joe from Hannibal Bow. You know what I mean? Like was certainly using the mouse like ambidextrous with the toes.
Now, in hindsight, would you say that this person maybe had a fetish?
How could you not? I mean, at this right, like to me, that's so obvious. Like clearly, this was a special skill of his that he was incredibly proud to showcase. It wasn't like he couldn't use his hands. Like, you know what I'm saying? There wasn't a disability. Like this was a decision on his part to be like, no, look at my laptop screen. I'm actually using my foot with my mouse.
You know, I never thought that feet would be so divisive as an adult, but it feels that some people, especially right now, are super into it. Apparently some people are using their mice, if you will. How do you feel about feet?
I feel like I'm very halvesies. Like I'm not obsessed, but I'm also not opposed. Like
Foot neutral.
Like I'm down to clown always, right? Like bodies are like, if it happens to be in the space, then I'm happy to occupy or
Acknowledge.
utilize whatever tools are at my disposal, but it's not like I'm seeking the feet out. Does that make sense?
That 100% makes sense.
Okay.
And it sounds like you were just a person who was present in the moment and you are able to work a prop and put on a goddamn show. And
Say
speaking
that.
of shows, Matt Rodin, you have worked on so many gorgeous shows. But I want to, before I ask you the Gay Ass Podcast question, something that has been happening to me recently is people say, Eric, the age-old question, what do you do? And I'm starting to...
Yeah, what do you say?
Well,
You say you're a
that's the thing
podcaster.
is, my mother, I was just with my parents, my family in St. Louis, and my mom clocked me. Somebody said, what do you do? And I said, it's like sort of devastating. I was like, well, and keep in mind, I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, so I'm trying to like.
St. Louis
So I just
Jews
tried to-
too. That's a specific breed.
Yeah,
breed.
and
St.
I was
Louis Jews.
also drinking my coffee with my foot, so that was a whole other thing. But this girl goes, so what do you do? And I was like, well, I'm like a podcaster, comedian, actor type. And she was like, okay. And my mom goes, why is that what you usually say? And I was like, honestly, I've been trying to sort of like check off all the boxes, but my mom was like, why don't you just say, you just work in entertainment? And I was like, because that is so broad that then
Well, and then
someone's
also
gonna
they're
say,
going to ask a follow-up. Like, what's the point?
nightmare is a follow-up. And so I try to just go like, da, 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 da. So Matt Rodin, what do you say when people, because you are a multi-hyphenate as well. What do you say?
God. What do I do? The thing I say now, I don't know. Like, I guess I'm an actor because I'm acting,
Right.
but I also like, I don't know, I'm a dog dad. That's like the thing I say most of the time because that way it avoids like everything else. It's so funny because my husband is a talent agent. He's not my agent, but like, it's really nice for him to be able to be like, yeah, my husband's an actor. And people are like, oh, what's he in? And he's like, he's in an Off-Broadway musical that's playing in Midtown. Like he has something specific to point to. When I'm not working as an actor, it's like very challenging. It's
Of
very challenging
course.
to like narrow down what it is. I don't know. I certainly am, I make things, videos, and I've worked as a designer. I worked at Broadway.com as like a correspondent and a red carpet correspondent.
Yeah, that's where I first saw your stuff. So that's why I'm like, it's hard to encompass what we do because we have had to hustle from the second we graduated
I
college.
feel like that's very generational though. I feel like that's very us. Like I feel like that's
Very.
so what we are now. Like it's
Well,
when
it's
someone tells me
by
they have
necessity.
a job. Yes, when someone tells me they have a job, I'm like, oh, are you okay? Like, are you
Yeah.
are you good?
One
Like,
job?
one
No, but I
job.
do know the cross to bear of currently being in a show and how it feels to be like, I can say I do this. And then the second you're out of it, you're like, great, I have no purpose, value, or receipts.
Like what's my identity? Right. Like the fact that I was on tour for a year, I was excited because I was like, that gives me like 8 months of runway to be like, I'm an actor. I was on the company tour for a year. Like it gives me something to like a receipt. Like you said, it gives me something to be like, this is what I did. But like after 8, 9 months, like I have nothing to show. So
Girl, what a dark-sided
it's
industry
dark.
we have chosen.
It's dark. It's dark. That's
Well,
why like,
especially
I just don't want people asking. I'm like, don't like I don't
I
need
know. But then on the other side of it, we want to be proud of ourselves and like project, like the confidence and the love we do have for ourselves. So it's like, we don't, and we're also told as Jewesses not to, I don't know, be like overly confident or like braggadocious.
That's right. Like you can't be too proud.
You can't be too proud.
But at the same time, it's like, don't be too humble. Like you do something. Like you do. Like there's like don't belittle yourself. You do something.
Lots of things, ultimately. But one thing I do, Matt Rodin, is ask a very specific question on this Gay Ass podcast. And that question is, whose fault is it that you're gay? Who do we blame, babe?
I blame my mother, obviously. Like the bar mitzvah planner mother. I think because at 2-3 years old, she's showing me the Kathy Rigby Peter Pan live tape. Like, what do you expect is going to happen? Like, what do you think is the end result of that? Like,
can you give us your mom's first name?
Sherry.
Thank you, Sherry, for your service, because the Kathy Rigby Peter Pan was
what is better?
Nothing.
Literally, what is better? I wore out that VHS. There are videos of me dressed as Captain Hook. Interestingly, not as Peter Pan, as Captain Hook, walking around the like our like den, our like TV room, reciting every single word to the Captain Hook song. I forget what it's called, but like this, like it was very obvious.
And how old were you as Captain Hook reciting the words?
Under 5. Like,
literally under 5 years old, gay as hell.
Yes. And then I think if we're passing the blame, then we go to like DCOMs, we go to Disney Channel, because like how can you expect to serve me a Brink or a Luck of the Irish and not
the lead guy in Luck of the Irish?
Yes,
I was
that's what I'm saying.
Wet for.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, how can I not be like, oh, I think I might be like, this is getting me excited in a different way than I'm used to. It's not just like a normal DCOM, like, oh, fun Zenon. It's like, no, I actually want to watch that again and again and again.
And again. I think that Zenon made me gay because to create a second film and then call it Zenon the Zequel, there's something very queer about that. I think taking words and adding a Z.
There was some faggot at Disney that was like, I got it. The Zequel.
It's the Zequel. I mean, I love to in fact, some of the 1-star reviews hate that I mispronounce words on this podcast, but there's something very, I don't know, like against the grain that I like about calling it a Zequel instead of a sequel. It was genius. It was inspired.
It was inspired. What are we no, that's genius. To me, that is genius. Ahead of its time, dare I say.
Well, it's also interesting to me that you are loving a DCOM. You're a bar mitzvah planner's daughter, but it's also the very like Jewish, but also gay friendly Chicago of it all. Were you coming out in Chicago? Did you wait until you got out? What happened?
I grew up in the North Shore, so like Mean Girls is based on my high school, so like that tells you a lot. Like
welcome
Old
to
Orchard,
North Shore High.
Like literally North Shore is where I grew up in the North Shore. So like Old Orchard is the mall in Mean Girls is based on Old Orchard. Like that is, yeah, it's bananas. So that gives you like paints a picture of where I grew up. I was certainly not the Damien. Like I was not what again what my mother would say. Like I wasn't running around with like glitter pouring out of my ass. Like that was not my vibe in high school. But I wasn't. What I used to say to people was like, if someone asked me freshman year, I would like brush off the question. By the time we hit like sophomore, junior year, if I was close enough with the person, I was able to be honest. And then by senior year, if you asked, I would tell you. But it wasn't like I was broadcasting it, but it wasn't not public. Like I wasn't ashamed of it. I wasn't really part of like the Gay Straight Alliance. That was not my vibe. But I was a theater kid. So that also is like a Gay Straight Alliance in and of itself.
One might say even gayer than the gay
Even
straight
gayer.
alliance.
Yes, that. But I wasn't going out like in Chicago. I wasn't. And by the way,
Right.
there were teen clubs. There were like under 18 clubs in Chicago. Was not
Which
doing
is
that.
wild because we're only like 3 years. You said you were born in what year? 92?
92. Yeah.
I was born in 89 and I am from the Midwest but like I was not at a high school where it would have even felt okay for me to tell. This is how I felt. Who knows what was the truth, but I did not feel that it was okay for me to even tell my close friends, oh yeah, girls, like you're right. Like I'm definitely gay. Like I really felt like I had to wait until the last possible second. So I came out like a month before graduating. What do you attribute that to? Do you attribute to your parents being like really welcoming to it? Was it the energy of like other gay people had come out and you saw that they were safe? What was it?
I think it's so interesting because I do think that there had been like a couple other gays before me in the high school that had sort of laid the groundwork, not in any specific way other than just like being out.
The Marsha P. Johnsons of North Shore High.
And we needed them. Do you understand? Like we needed those people. And by them just being out, it gave me like the space to be like, I'm out. And also at the same time, like because I wasn't hyper flamboyant, it was like oddly more acceptable for me to be gay, right? Like it was like, oh, he's not
Passing.
like too gay, right? Like he's passing, like he's not gonna like look at me in the locker room gay.
Ugh, you're so right though.
It's like, so I think that was also part of it because I do think by the time that I was a freshman, the seniors, which would have been, or the juniors, which would have been how old you were, like I feel like there were a couple of them that were out in the theater group, but not necessarily like in the whole school. Yeah. Because even 2 or 3 years after me, there were kids that were like out and proud. Like that was like, it was like, well, now it's like really cool to be, fluid and whatever.
I see.
But
so you were watching in real time the attitude shift in your school.
Totally.
There's 2 things that I want to get into with that. I always talk about, especially on Substack, we sort of have like more hornier conversations. In fact, I might bug you to do an extended interview at the end of this so that we can maybe get into some of my saucier questions. So we'll do that at the end. So anybody go over to Substack after this and listen to the Matt saucy questions. But the straight passing of it all, not to say that you were straight passing, but just like the masculinity. In my research, I found hockey playing in your history, that you played it until 15 years old.
Yes.
Matt, you need to answer the first question of, do sweaty pads get you going? Do you have a trigger response? What's
Absolutely.
the hockey of it all?
Yep. Love it. Love it. Love it. And honestly, to be completely fair with you, this is such a timely question because that trailer for that new like HBO hockey series just came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like pissed. Like I'm unhappy because I feel like I feel like the parade has passed me by. Like I was really hoping to be able to capitalize on this special skill of mine that I can skate. And I'm an actor. And I also didn't know until like a year and a half ago that like hockey, like queer hockey books, like gay hockey books are like massive. Like,
wait, I had no idea.
Oh, huge fandom for like gay hockey, like hot, sweaty gay hockey books. That's why these series are coming out.
Well, it makes so much sense because you need to know that I have a twin brother and an older brother who both played like pretty competitive hockey.
St. Louis,
and
of course.
I went to so many hockey games, and here's the snapshot. The locker room door would open as we were getting ready to leave, as one of my brothers would come out. I would see like a shirtless, thick high school senior, a tiny patch of chest hair in the middle, the smell of rotting eggs.
Yes.
And yet I was so it felt like a land that I was not allowed to be in, but I wanted to be a part of. And I understand why there are gay hockey books because it's been a part of my
that's such a good observation. And I also feel like that was part of what was the kink of it all, was that it was this like
nasty.
It was also like it was kind of secret, like that because I didn't play in high school. I reffed throughout high school, which is like, that's very gay. But like the stripes of it all, that's a whole thing.
Sure.
But I played up until like 8th grade. And I feel like, especially like we're talking 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, when you're like really coming into these like hormones and you're surrounded by sweaty boys, you're like, something is happening inside of me that I cannot contain.
Wow.
You know?
I can
Yeah.
only imagine. I mean, well, when we do the Substack interview, I'll ask about the first boy kissing and all of the sort of sexual awakenings, because I can only imagine that if you're sort of soft launching your homosexuality in high school, there had to have been some play. But
Before, yes, of course.
yeah, but then you find yourself going to college for musical theater, and then you gay. But now you find yourself in New York City, sort of like living this dream of doing this show. Which, can we talk about BEAU for a second? I mean,
Yeah, please.
It's so crazy how you have been able to grow this career from being like a red carpet correspondent, producing videos, and then to find yourself actually on the stages of these shows that you were promoting. What does it feel like to be a part of a show now that's brand new? There's no IP. There's that uphill climb of getting the word out.
Yeah.
Do you feel a sense of, obviously, exhaustion because it's hard to do a show and you're the lead of this show, but what does it feel like to be in the middle of that tornado now as the actor leading the new show?
Yeah, that's so interesting. And honestly, Slay, because no one's asked me that question yet, so Slay to you.
Thank you.
We'll go two different directions. So the first direction is, and then I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna come back to this. So let's start here. It's amazing. It's literally the dream come true, leading a brand new musical, a role that basically was written for me, basically, because I've been with the show for 8 years. So I've been working with, like, when I first read the script, it was not finished. The songs were not done. So the keys were picked for my voice. Like, it's very much me. I am baked into this role very much so. I'm hosting the night of this concert. That's what the show is. It's a concert that I'm like hosting. So it's all baked in there. It's very cool, especially doing it in New York, in Midtown. Like, yeah, it's the dream. Like, all that is true. The part that I think is hard is that, like, number one, because I've been on the marketing side for a decade in New York, the fact that I'm not directly involved, like I'm involved but not directly involved, is a challenge, because I like want to, I want to help in whatever way I can, and they have allowed me to do that. But also, like, yeah, it's a new off-Broadway show. We don't have IP. We're not a Spelling Bee or a Heathers, so we're not getting the attention of the mainstream in the same way that like another off-Broadway or Broadway musical would, which, yeah, I mean, frankly, it's frustrating. Like, it just is. It's like, the show's really good. It's 100 minutes. It's different than anything else. It's like pop rock. People are coming and having an amazing time. I don't think the show's perfect. Like, I'm not at all saying that, but I do think that, like, yeah, it's hard to be in something that is not getting the attention of more people. Like, it's if I'm being totally real, it sucks, you know. I mean, we've had pretty good houses the last weekish, and a couple, you know, there's moments where we've had like really, really great audiences, but when you go out there and it's like 50% sold in a house of, it's 175 seats, it's immersive, so it's not like it's proscenium and they're all in the dark. Like, I'm on top of these people, like I can see when seats are open. Like, it's not fun, and I don't take it personally, but it just is like, having been around for, you know, 10, 11 years and knowing the systems and the machines, like I said, we don't have the brand IP of a Spelling Bee or a Heathers. It's just not going to be the same.
Well, I think what you're pointing to that is really hitting me is the resilience that it takes to continue to put out the show no matter, and your best, you know, put out your work and your voice, even if you see an audience that's 50%, because I am very much privy to the ticket sales of it all. I'm starting to tour this show. I've been working on my own show that, like, the tickets are always
the same, right? Yeah, and they have to, like,
it's always a stressor.
It's on you, right? It's on you, and that's things like, it's not on us, but it's not. I'm like writing a piece right now about that. Yeah.
The value of a lot of work right now in the entertainment industry is just like numbers. It's how many people are in the seats, how many followers, how many boo, 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 boo. And it is very hard as creative people to distinguish our value from those numbers, despite the industry telling us that that is what our value is. So it's like even me, and I'm not just saying this to say this, but part of the reason I had you on this podcast is, sure, I'm a fan of yours and think you're great, but all the work that I've seen, all the clips I've seen from BEAU and what the show is about, the queer coming of age story of it all, the actor musician of it all, the immersiveness, it really feels like a show that needs to be seen, and it looks like such an exciting new thing that I want there to be more of. And so I think that the quality is there. Even though I haven't seen it, I just know it by watching what I've seen. The quality is there, but it doesn't take away from the frustration of, you know, trying to surpass the expectations of the industry to keep it running and to keep people interested. And I do think there's also something interesting that you posted about doing the show. You're singing crazy notes, a lot of songs, and you posted about cracking on a really big note made you have like a shame spiral after. You felt like a huge failure. In fact, you said that you felt like people in the audience were going to think, ugh, he's not good. How did he even get this job? Do you think any part of that is connected to growing up gay at all? Like the perfectionism of it all? Like, how do you feel about that?
100%. I'm sure there's some Jewish baked in there too. Like, I'm sure there's some Jewish guilt in there too. I don't know how that connects, but I just have a feeling that it's in there somewhere.
It does.
But yeah, I think, there is this pressure culturally, especially, I don't think it's exclusive to queer culture, but when it comes to queer culture, the way we look and the way we present and the way that we're perceived, it matters, or we believe that it matters.
What matters? The idea of perfection, you mean?
Yeah, or just how we're perceived. Do people think I'm hot? Do people think I'm funny? Do people think I'm talented? Do people think I'm attractive? Are people in my DMs? Like, whatever it is, like, we put value on how we're perceived.
Yeah.
And maybe it is rooted in the fact that, like, when I was younger, I didn't want to be perceived as gay, that it was like being straight passing was a compliment. When people would be like, I didn't know you were gay, that was like the biggest compliment someone could give me, which is, looking back, you're like, oh my God, like, that is some repressed fucking heteronormative, like, it's scary to think about. And yet I understand, like, I empathize with that kid, because of course, like, I just wanted to be perceived as normal. I just wanted to perceive
straightness
as fitting
equaled normalcy, and then, not to get too woo-woo deep, but it also meant safety. It meant like being a part of the herd. I'm protected.
100%. Yes. And with Judaism too, right? That it was like, don't make a fuss. Don't cause drama. Just go along. Don't, you're just a part of it. You don't need to be the center of attention. Okay? Like, we're just here. We don't want to make waves. Like, and again, like, not that was ever said explicitly to me, but there's something baked into the culture and just like the life of being a Jewish queer person that is in that.
And yet, you and I both, I feel, have this pull towards, sure, entertaining people and bringing joy to people's lives. And sure, maybe being the center of attention from time to time. But there is a way for us to do that isn't making a bad fuss. It's like we have to reconcile that. It's like, oh no, I want to be on a goddamn stage or make something.
This is exhausting. I mean, it's just like being a queer Jew is so exhausting. I
know people listening are like, I'm tired listening to these fags try to wrestle their way about just wanting to be on a goddamn stage. But like, we have to do what we have to do.
Right. The truth is, I'm like, I just want attention. Like, if we're being real, like, I just want to be loved. You know what I mean? I just want to be seen. I want to feel, and I think that's probably what it is at the root, is like, I just want to feel seen and heard. Yeah. And I think
because you know what it's like to feel seen and heard by other people. I think there is a very big depth to like Kathy Rigby in Peter Pan. And do you mind if I do a crazy reference to Kathy Rigby for a second? This has nothing to do with your journey. Matt Rodin, I was on tour with Elf the Musical in 2014.
Absolutely,
playing Buddy
you
the
were.
Elf. And the girl that was my wig queen, Katie McCoy, her mother is Kathy Rigby, and Kathy Rigby came to see the show. And I have a picture with her in full body drag with Kathy Rigby at 2'2".
And you know what? Now I'm realizing, I think it was Kathy Rigby, but even before that, it was Mary Martin. Oh. It was the Mary Martin one. That's the one that was playing in my house. The Kathy Rigby one, sure, absolutely. Who's now, I think, doing like Peter Pan Goes Wrong in LA. Did you? I don't know if you saw those videos.
I did see
of her.
that, which honestly is high camp.
So,
And then she flies out.
Yes, it's iconic. It's perfect. I was like, that's exactly right. That's what we want. But it was the Mary. My mom is gonna be so mad when she listens, and she's like, it was the Mary Martin, not the Kathy Rigby. But
Hey,
now
you got there. You got there.
It was the Mary Martin one. But both of them, like the Peter Pan of it all, that's so iconic and so like to know someone who is secondarily like a part of our queer awakening, I think is important and necessary. And the fact that you were on tour with Elf the Musical in 2014 is equally iconic. Like
Bless you,
spreading
Matt Rodin,
Christmas cheer
bless
as a
you.
Jew.
And I'm not just saying this, it taught me how to love Christmas, because I was like, I get it. I was like, it's not about the presents. It is about the family. It is about the memories. It is. And I was like, I get it now. Also, I am married to
can do. You see what
literally
musicals
see
can
the
do?
power of Matt Sklar and chat. I am married to a gay ass Catholic whose family is deeply obsessed with Christmas, and it is an honor to be a part of their Christmas tradition every year. So we will be embarking on that soon.
I am married to a gay Jew. I am married to a gay Jew.
You are?
I am.
Congrats to your mother. Oh my God, that's huge.
Wait, I have to tell you a story. So we started dating it's been like almost 9 years. It was like we met on New Year's of 2017 and like going into 2017.
Yeah.
That's another story for Substack. And I had come out to my parents when I was like in 8th grade or high school, and not in any direct way. We just started having conversations about the people that I was interested in. I never was like, I'm gay.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened with my grandparents. So I'm at their house in Florida, of course, in Fort Lauderdale, of course, Boca Raton, of course.
Naturally.
And Sam and I had been dating, I think, for probably like a year, something like that. And I hadn't told my grandparents, and they didn't know I was gay, or they didn't know I was gay. And I showed them a picture, and I was like, oh, Nina and Papa, like, this is my boyfriend, Sam. My grandma, oh my God, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. My grandfather, the first thing he says, is he Jewish?
Wait, that's actually...
And guess what? And you know what I got to say? Yes. And guess what? I am the only grandchild who is with a Jew.
He's gay. He moved into the city, and now he's gay, and he's married to a Jew.
And his husband is Jewish. So you know what? Gay, whatever. But he's married to a Jew. That is what counts. And they were so loving and so supportive. But I think it's very funny that I am the one, even though I was the black sheep, I was the one that was gay. I found the Jew.
I can't tell you how happy I am for you, and if only for the fact that you've got to feel the adoration and acceptance of your grandparents in that moment, which I know they accept us no matter what, but there's a special je ne sais quoi to you being able to say in that moment, he is Jew.
It was, I'll never forget it for the rest of my life. Like,
what was your husband's bar mitzvah theme?
Dogs.
Dogs?
Dogs. Dogs.
That's actually one of the best random themes I've ever heard in my life.
Okay, I'll give you, I got another story for you. A good one.
Please.
So I have, this is my campaign. This is me right now starting my campaign for my mother's book called You Can't Make This Shit Up, Stories of a North Shore Bar and Bat Mitzvah Planner, which will turn into a Hulu series, half-hour comedy.
Yep.
I am actively gunning for this. This is the thing. That's my dream. That's what I want to do. One of the stories is there's a theme. The theme is positively Daniela. So my mother, she's like, oh, what kind of dog do you have? We don't have a dog. My mom goes, what do you mean? The girl's theme is dogs? You don't have a dog? Mother goes, no, she doesn't have a dog. She just loves dogs. My mom goes, you got to get her a dog for the bar mitzvah. I mean, what do you mean? You got to get her what are we doing? You got to get her the dog. So bar mitzvah happens. They gift this girl at the bar mitzvah, at the party. They gift her a puppy, okay? My mom had to rip the puppy out of this girl's arms because she didn't want to be at the party. All she wanted to do was play with the dog. And my mom was like, Daniela, the dog you're going to have forever, you got to go back to your party.
You need to give me back Trixie because you got to light some candles.
You need to pause. I'm positively positive that you are going to get to have the dog forever. So pause and go back to the party.
I was worried that you were going to say that they then gave the dog up the second the party ended, but it sounds like they had a match forever.
No. But again, this is one of the many countless stories.
Well, I can only imagine. I make fun of my bar mitzvah theme. I had to share with my twin brother who was very straight. I was very gay, and we couldn't.
I'm so
Thank you so much. But in my show, in my stand-up moment, I talk about the bar mitzvah theme of it all because we chose Austin Powers. That was the only thing we could agree upon. So it truly, like, if you need any guest stars in your Hulu straight to series order, I would be thrilled.
So good.
It's just there's the showmanship of the bar bat mitzvah. There's the queerness. It's just like how Christmas is also very gay. I think bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs are very gay at their core. I think Christmas is very gay at its core.
If I think you should leave is having success, we're ready for. You can't make this shit up.
We're ready. Can't make this shit up. Listen, I live in LA. I can't wait for you to film it. Hopefully here, and I will.
Oh yeah, too expensive here. We'll film it in LA. Too expensive.
Yeah, well, I'll work craft services. Just let me know.
Perfect.
But I do think it's really truly to hear you even pitching us. You can't make this shit up. It shows that you're such a go-getter. She is a multi-hyphenate.
It's in my blood.
It's in your blood. In fact, you have a Substack, speaking of Substack, called The Fourth Wall, where you talk a lot about the industry. In fact, you talk about how, like, quote unquote, making it is not a real thing. When you booked the company tour, for anybody listening who doesn't realize the gag of that, the role that Matt Doyle won the Tony for, Matt
Jonathan
Rodin,
Bailey won in
Jonathan
in
Bailey,
yes, in one in
who
London.
did it on the West End.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you for reminding me of that. So
Very
these
wicked moment, you know what I mean? We gotta like acknowledge.
We have to.
Yeah, right.
Did you see For Good?
Alive? I haven't yet. This week I'm going on Thanksgiving.
Do you think Jonathan Bailey is the sexiest man alive?
Sure, why not? Oh, I don't care.
Who would you make out with first at the party, Matt Doyle or Jonathan Bailey?
Jonathan Bailey.
Gorgeous. When you booked that role, which by the way sings the iconic song Not Getting Married, where were you when you found out you booked, and did you feel like you made it in that moment?
Are you asking me because you heard the story?
No, I haven't. I just love finding out when people book
okay
big
so
parts.
The story goes, I'm so excited to tell you this story, you're gonna die.
I can't wait.
Don't die. So at the time, I'm doing Rent at this theater out in Jersey called Paper Mill Playhouse.
Love.
Notoriously the origin story of Newsies, the musical. That's where Newsies started. Many other things, but that's the one I feel like it's fun to talk about. So I'm at Paper Mill doing Rent. I get an appointment for the company tour to play Jamie, which, by the way, every single gay and their mother wanted. Okay, this was like the role because he had just won the Tony. The show was very critically acclaimed. They had a hard time on Broadway, but very critically acclaimed. And again, like Tony winner. I go in, slay the audition. One of the best auditions ever. I go back for a callback and bomb. I was like, that was the worst callback I've ever had. I was so anxious. I wanted it so badly. Did not go my way. They hire a guy who I will not name, but he ends up booking another show that was going out of town before they came into Broadway. They did come into Broadway. He was in that show. The show has now closed. Anyway, when he booked that, they needed to find someone else. So they went back to all the people they had in callbacks and called them all back in. And I was like, oh my God. Well, at that point, I was like, I'm doing Rent. Like, I've already bombed. So I have literally nothing to lose. I'm just going to go in and do my thing. Callback was pretty good. Pretty good. I felt pretty good about it. I was like, okay, that wasn't terrible. At least I made a good representation of myself after the last time. Rent is closing on Sunday, July 2nd. I get a call from my agent on it must have been the week before, like end of June. And she's like, they want to see you one more time for the company tour. They want to see you on Monday. It's like, okay, the day after closing. So I was like, bummer, I can't go to the closing party. Oh, also, by the way, our families are coming into town. My family and Sam's family are coming into town to see Rent. And we figured we might as well get married on that Monday. So also, it's the day I'm getting married is that Monday. So they want to see me for this callback. And it's also the day of my wedding. Now, you have to understand that we were very much like, we're not doing a big wedding. We're going to do a circle with our 4 closest friends and our families in Central Park, like super casual. We're going to go to a bar that night and invite everybody that we know, like very low stakes, whatever. So already I had a chunk of the day open from like, you know, noon, 1 p.m. until like 6 p.m. when we were going to the bar. I had a chunk of the day open because we were closing Rent the night before. So I was like, I'm going to want to nap. I'm going to want to like have a moment and get dressed again and like go to this party. Well, I want this job. So at 11 a.m., I get married to my now husband, Sam, in Central Park with our families. Everybody comes over to our apartment on the Upper West Side. We're eating bits and bites. We're having drinks. And I'm like, okay, everybody, gotta go. Wearing my outfit from the wedding. My whole family and my friends, break a leg, break a leg. I get on the train. I go to Midtown. I walk into a rehearsal room. I sing Not Getting Married Today in my wedding outfit. And then I go home. And then like 3 days later, I had a feeling at that point that I had gotten it because basically what I had heard was that like it was more of a confirmation. Because the callback, it was more of a work session. It was like, hey, let's like work on the song and like just see if the vibe is right with like the team. And so
you knew.
So I had a feeling, which was awesome to like have on the day of the wedding. And then later on in that week, I got the call that I was going to get to go on the tour, which was also crazy because I just got married. So I was like, oh, hey, hubby, love you. I'm going to go be on the road for a year.
Wow.
So yeah, my final callback for the company tour to play Jamie on his wedding day was on my wedding day. And that's called Bashert. That's called divine timing. I could not have planned that. I actually, if I was writing a script, I wouldn't have written that because you would read that and go, that doesn't happen. That's not real.
It's such a true testament to the universe, though. Like you're saying, it was Bashert. Don't you feel like it was the universe confirming you're on the right track, right place?
I have goosebumps. It is, if nothing else, I was like, okay, so now I just need to like let go and let God forever because clearly something is working that's larger than me that I simply cannot understand.
Yes.
And so as much as I want to control every single outcome and I want to know what I have that Jewish instinct to really want to know the answer and like make sure that I want it, but I have now been given the evidence to tell me, let go, because I'm doing the work for you. I'm taking care of it. And now I like have to trust that things are just like playing out the way they should, because that is the craziest thing that's ever happened to me.
I'm breathing it in. I think all of us are breathing it in because you know what? It also proves to me that when you are following your gut, it does help melt away the need to control, because if you had not been following the path that you felt you were pulled towards, it wouldn't have happened like that, you know?
Well, and to answer your original question, I have been in New York for 9 years, right? Like I have been auditioning.
In the trenches.
I had showcased, I had gotten an agent, I had dropped by that agent, I was doing red carpets. I had like completely shifted my attention and focus to the thing that was working for me, which was these like red carpet videos and content.
Right.
Because I was having fun and I was like, clearly there's some traction here. That's how I ended up getting an agent who ended up booking me, got me this audition. And all that to say, like, it just was a long road. And yes, it did feel like a turning point for me, especially in the way that I was being talked about, we were talking about earlier, like being perceived by the industry.
Yeah.
That like people then were like, oh, I didn't realize that he was also like, he was on that level. Like I knew that he was like an actor, but I didn't know that he was able to like actually do that.
Well, it's
And
you always knew within what you were capable of. And I think that when other people start to see it, that is the perception that does feel good. I'm at a point now where I'm sort of lobotomized. I'm feeling by all of my career moves because I'm realizing that none of them will make me feel better about myself. And so I'm sort of like in this weird in-between state where I'm like, still very ambitious.
But I don't know that ever ends. I don't know that we ever make it. Like, cause I think, even right now, like I'm sitting here doing an off-Broadway show and I'm like, okay, well, I can barely pay my rent.
Yeah.
I have friends that are doing readings of this, or going into this Broadway show. So like, it never feels like it's enough. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And even on tour, it was like, it was great, but I was like, who gives a fuck about this gay guy that's like out on the road? After 2 months, after the Playbill announcement, people are like, okay, cool. Like no one really cares. So it's hard. And it's hard to like stay the course and like keep hope alive when it just feels so confusing. You're just like, where am I heading? I'm doing the things that I think I'm supposed to be doing or that feel right. So the thing I just keep trying to do is I'm like, as long as whatever I'm doing is like keeping me present and like dropping me into my body and I'm having fun doing it, then like the rest of it, I don't know.
That's all you can do. All you can do. And you know what? It's like have fun with what you're doing and while you're doing it. And then if we get the full circle of the Judaism of it all, we got to have faith. Like you said, we just got to have gay ass faith. And that is what you have been doing. And I am just so effing thrilled that I get to watch your rise and have you on this gay ass podcast. And before we do go over to have the XXX questions on the Substack bonus, I do want to ask you the final question on this main episode, which is, Matt Rodin, if the world was ending and you could only save one character actress, who would you save?
You know, your voice is making me think of someone named Bernadette Peters.
Oh, my God.
And I don't know how anyone who has a BFA could possibly say anything else. I think it actually would be sacrilegious to do so. Speaking of the Jewesses, I think it is offensive to not say Bernadette Peters. I can campaign for a Jane Howdy Shell. I'm down for that. Very much so. I can get behind that for sure. But I don't know that there's anyone other for me than a Bernadette Peters that I want at the end of times.
Oh, and I think that's a perfect answer. My question though is I should know this, but was Bernadette Peters born Bernadette Peters? Because it feels that she could not be named anything other than Bernadette Peters. Even the last name Peters makes her have her beautiful lip shape say the ER. Peters.
I don't know. That is such a good question. But regardless, I'm like, that is her name. Like whatever she was born, that is what her name was meant to be. Do you know what I mean?
When she came out of that vagine crying, wailing, she did have full vibrato.
That's what I mean. Like, and listen, again, I will campaign and I would go to bat for a Laura Dern, 100%. Like, I can get behind that. Always. But also, she was born Laura Dern. That's such a good Laura. That's her name. But you know what? I did find out that Bernadette was born. It's almost iconic. She was born Bernadette Lazara. Oh, so maybe she's not Jewish. Maybe she's just Italian.
It's giving Italian, but listen, whatever you say. Although she did marry a man named Michael Wittenberg. So
also
whether
the curls, do you know what I mean? Like it just feels. But
she was
yeah,
born in
I
New
don't
York.
know. And for me personally, she was like such a champion of mine when I was doing red carpets. She was always game to play, always down to clown, and like was so generous and fun and funny and like never took herself too seriously. And so for me, that is like my ride or die. Always.
Well, you landed on the reason why we love our character actresses, especially the ones like Bernadette Peters, nay Bernadette Lazara, because they are iconic on stage and off, and they can giggle with a fag with a microphone on a red carpet. And that is the testament of a ultimate character actress, and Bernadette Peters is an answer that is just divine. Matt Rodin, I knew I would be thrilled to talk to a fellow hustler gay ass Jew, but you have truly made this recording. I'm recording this from Palm Springs. I'm here for Thanksgiving, and I was like, you know, to have to jump on a recording while you're having a pool in the background is a certain je ne sais quoi, but this feels just like a part of my vacation talking to you, and this will have to be like one of many.
It feels like the share. You know, oh no, this is one of many. As the careers continue to grow or dwindle, there will be more conversations to come.
And you know what? They will do both of those things, but we will manifest that the net will be grow. Matt, will you please tell these listeners where to follow you, how to get tickets to BEAU, and anything else you'd like for them to know?
Honey, at who is Matt Rodin? Which to me, that's the question that everyone else is asking. Who is this guy? So I have just leaned in, and that's the handle across the board. Also, I feel like if you just like Google my name, you'll find me. BEAU the Musical, I think it's beauthemusical.com. Tickets are 2 for 1 right now, trying to get those butts in the seats.
Yes.
So yes, we're here till January 4th. We're hanging out Off-Broadway. We're doing a gay-ass musical in a basement.
With gorgeous music, incredible acting, and sets, and all of it. It's linked in the description. Go follow Matt. Go see BEAU if you're in New York City. And come over to Substack, everybody, to listen to us get into the horniest questions. You get it. Just come over and get horny with us. Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining me on That's a Gay Ass Podcast. If you enjoyed this interview with the stunning Matt Rodin, let me know by leaving a comment on YouTube or just leave a 5-star review wherever you enjoy your podcasts. If you want more gay assery, I highly recommend you go to Substack to watch the full extended bonus episode for this week's bonus. It's with Dads and Daddies, the incredible podcast that is all about open relationships and being a modern gay man and just being a fucking slut. And of course, the Matt Rodin extended interview is at Substack as well, where we talk about his first boy kiss, the deal with his current status as a sleut, and a whole bunch more. Stay gay, stay fabulous, and I'll see you next week. You've been listening to That's a Gay Ass Podcast, hosted by me, Eric Williams. If you want to see and hear more, make sure you're subscribed on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and follow the Instagram at Gay Ass Podcast. For more gay assery, the real girlies are over on Substack, where you get bonus episodes every single week and live chats with me and other gay ass guests. That's a Gay Ass Podcast is executive produced by Eric Williams and produced by Nathanael McClure. We'll see you next week.